AskReddit by USD. What's the best response to go back to your country? I will. I'm a tourist. That usually makes their brain reboot. Deleted. A friend got pulled over for speeding in Malibu. He was young and impulsive, and doesn't exactly recommend speaking to law enforcement officer this way, but it worked. After the usual exchanges for this situation, the officer told him to go back to Mexico. My friend's patience absolutely ran out and he bellowed back, "I'm a Chumash. You're on my land. Go back to wherever you came from." Chumash are the indigenous people of Malibu. The officer's tone changed completely, probably guessing this kid wouldn't talk this way unless he had connections with the tribal council, and figuring those connections could cause actual trouble with the officer's chain of command. The officer actually apologized. "We didn't cross the border. The border crossed us. Look at me. This is my country now. I need to steal jobs first." I love this idea that somehow, this person who came to another country and had to start anew is taking your job somehow. Like, if they are doing that with additional difficulties, then maybe you don't deserve that job. "I'm sorry, Uranus is full. Packed so very tight." "Why? I've paid more tax here than you have." Can't know that for certain, but given the type of people who spout shit like go back to your country, it's a pretty safe bet their existence has had absolutely zero value add to their country. Agree. I'm from Dublin, and after our racist riots last month, I'd be willing trade those homegrown scumbags for people from most anywhere on earth and be confident it'd be a net positive to Ireland. I own a country? Holy moly. No, just the principal interest. Lol. Seriously, why haven't you made a payment recently? I wish I had seen this thread last week. I got shouted at from a passing car to go back to Mexico. I'm a white Jew from Arizona though, so it didn't quite hit the way he wanted. Unless he meant I should go back to Tulum. I did enjoy it there. I'm about the most Northern European looking motherfucker. I speak very fluent Spanish. I was out and about with my son, who I've raised to speak Spanish, who is actually an 8th Mexican. And we were taking in Spanish to keep his abilities up. Some redneck walks up to me and tells me to go back to Mexico. I just look at him and I'm just confused as hell. I'm like, where do you think I'm from? I think my immediate drop into a generic American accent caused his kernel to halt. My son and I walked on laughing to ourselves. In America, go back to yours. Most our families didn't originate in America. And most don't originate from a single country either. Back where I came from is several countries. Act confused and say huh. I'm not sure what you mean, can you repeat that? People typically won't repeat their rude comments. If they say it again, ask them just one last time to repeat it. Oh hell yeah. Add a smile in there. People will go crazy. This is my country. I'm Spanish. And I was born in the US. What I notice is when someone says go back to your country, and I say I was born here, they mean like my grandparents or wherever they were from. Go back there. But they never stop a white person and say go back to your country. As a Canadian, when you hear it over here, it's a bit hypocritical, as the First Nations are never the ones to say that. It's always white people, lol. Same here in the USA. I about laughed my ass off hearing it told to Native Americans on their tribal lands by an entitled Karen. The irony is so pathetic. Well, this is my country, but I can also say Africa has a no returns policy on stolen goods. Took me a minute, but this one actually made me laugh. As a Native American, my response would be, you stole my country. You're the one who needs to leave. Your reply should be, I already did. You should go back to yours. I'd maybe say, are you feeling okay? Or to be completely honest, I wouldn't engage. People who say this type of stuff tend to be psychotic and violent. Speaking from experience, I grew up in a really racist town. Scranton and X200B. Just to mess with them. The Electric City. It no longer exists, but I put it in H. Based on this comment, I estimate you are between 40 and 44 years old. Only if you go back to yours. It's interesting reading this from a European context. A lot of focus here on that it's only valid to say if you're indigenous, but I doubt it applies to indigenous Europeans. Go back to your century, dipshit. Oof. I'm an immigrant now. My response is generally to burst out laughing as though I'm in a Richard Pryor gig. It confuses them to the point of rage XD. Second response, if I am having a bad day and have 0% patience. Go back to your cave, you fucking troglodyte. Just remind them you're paying more tax than they are. Pay my fare. The gates to hell were closed a long time ago. Killing them with cringe is also my usual tactic. Sometimes being clever isn't a requirement or the best option. When someone makes dumb half-baked comments like this, you can literally just be a dumb cruel asshole right back. With comments like this that possess zero intelligence, if I don't entirely ignore their existence, I go straight to troll mode and prey on their dumb insecurities. It's not like their mind wasn't already made up based on assumption. You're not gonna change their vote. Example, nah, I like it here better. You guys have so much free shit I don't even have to work. Speaking of free shit I can use, how's your mom doing? The best response is no response. They're just looking for a fight or to upset somebody, so it's best to not give them what they're after. Haha, I had people tell my father this and I said he would accept he's wanted for war crimes. The look on their face always cracks me up. I was in a bar and a young Aussie came up to me and said, "Why don't you fuck off home, you pommy bastard?" I turned to him and said, "Leave it out mate, I really like the Australians." He looked at me and said he was sorry, but then I hit him with, "It's the whites I can't stand." This totally confused him and he made his escape 1-0 England. What's a pommy bastard?